Good evening, Adam. Abdusalam. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Please confirm you can hear me. Good evening, everyone. Please confirm you can hear me. Yeah, good evening, everyone. Please confirm you can hear me. Triumph, please, can you hear me?
Hi, yes, I can.
All right, great. Good evening, Abdusalam. Welcome, welcome. Good evening, Triumph. Good evening, Tolu. Welcome to today's webinar. Good evening, Adetono. Good evening, Adetono. Welcome to today's webinar. All right, it's so nice to have everyone on the call, right? Please you can go ahead to introduce yourself on the chat, just so you know each other better. My name is Glory Barrymore, and I'm the programs manager for the Data School at Athletics, and I'll be your host for today. And I hope that we can have, an insightful webinar where we learn how we can look for or find anything at all in Excel. So please do well to introduce yourself on the chat box. You can just tell us your name, where you're from, and what you do, right? I think that works for us. Thank you. So I look forward to the introductions, please. All right. So tutor is our tutor is around. Our tutor is around. So just one or two introductions and then we'll kick off the class. So um does anyone want to introduce? Let me check the chat box to see if there's anything. Please do us go to the chat box to introduce yourself. Right. Okay. Let me go first. I everyone so that we'll know where the chat box is. All right, so I just sent a message to everybody, right? So that's where the chat box is. And please do want to introduce yourself, right? So let's go ahead so that we don't waste any time. Let's go ahead. Welcome once again. Welcome, Precious Osage. So nice to have you on the call. Please do want to introduce yourself on the chat box. That's the Q&A box. And you can tell us your name, what you do, and where you're joining us from. We'll be glad to have that information. Thank you very much. All right, so let's kick off class. Our facilitator is around, and I'm sure that she's ready to give us an insightful time in class, right? But before before we go on, I'll be waiting for our introductions. Just one more minute to see if anybody is up is ready to introduce themselves in the chat box, and then we'll kick off class. So I'm waiting for our introductions. We'll take my introduction again, right? So I said my name is Glory Barrymore and I'm the programs manager here at Techlytics. So please, let's do this. I'm waiting for our introductions. If not, we'll just kick off class. All right, let me check the chat box. Okay, all right, so let's kick off class. Welcome once again, Idam Abdusalam, Aditono, and Precious Osage. It's so nice to have you in class. All right, so before I introduce our tutor, right, I'm just going to have a brief, just to tell us a brief description of what we do at Techlytics, and just for you to know us and know what we do. So please give me a few minutes to set up my screen, and then we can start class. Thank you. Please, can you see my screen? Hi, Triumph. Please, can you confirm if you can see my screen? Hi, Triumph. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right. So, about Techletics. So, Techletics is an edtech institution driving Africa's growth by equipping its workforce with critical digital skills, aligning with the SDG goals for quality education and decent work and economic growth. We are accredited by CPD Certification Service in the UK, and we adopt a blended model of cohort-based learning programs. So what that means is, we have cohort-based learning programs, so people come in for a time, to take trainings, and we also have a virtual simulation lab pulse and a live project implementation approach to reinforce learning concepts. Yeah, so our vision and mission, right? We we Our vision is to be the leading force in Africa's digital transformation, equipping professionals with essential skills that foster economic growth, resilience, and sustainable development across Nigeria to the continent. And our mission is to drive Africa's growth by providing accessible, accredited digital education in data, product management, and no-code development. So today we're doing data, right? And Techletics aims to reskill over 10,000 professionals by 2025, fostering economic resilience and innovation. And that's why we're having sessions like this to be able to, meet this mission and even surpass it, right? So what's the problem statement? Africa's digital transformation faces a severe skills shortage in fields like data science, analytics, governance, product management, and local development. With over 230 million jobs expected to require digital skills by 2030, existing training programs meet only 20% of demand, risking a $180 billion loss in GDP by 2025. Scalable industry-specific training is essential to bridge this gap and fuel sustainable economic growth across the continent. So we can see that there is a lot of skill gap, and there's a lot of job available, right? But there are no skills available to be able to fit into this job, and that's why the activities coming. We're like that bridge to close that gap, to ensure that people can access the jobs that are available by reskilling, upskilling, and ensuring that they are up to date with the trends that's happening in the world, right? So what are the solutions that Techletics have brought on board? We have introduced cohort-based learning model, and this drives peer engagement, collaboration, and deeper understanding, right? And we also practice-driven experience in our virtual lab and lab projects. We enroll strategic internship placements on live client projects via project implementation division of Techletics, facilitating industry integration. That means that after your training, we have the opportunity for internship placements, on our client projects, right? And we also have an AI-enabled LMS where we engage the students with assignment quizzes and virtual assistant that provide instant answers to the learners' questions. These are notable partnership. We're currently in a partnership with the Nigerian Society of Engineers, where we're helping to train the young engineers on the skills needed for them to thrive, in the sphere that they have. So we have brands that trust us. That's Palette, Utiva. You can see the amazing brands that we've had to work with and our notable clients, right? And this is a team. Oluwatayo Winkule is the founder and lead trainer. This is me, Brian Mogler. I'm the program manager. Timothy Omenugor and Triumph Ulise Kodiaka. This is the best team, and they are the ones that make the amazing things that we do at Techletics happen, right? So this is just the tester section, right? We're just going to just scratch the surface. We have a 6-weekend course that's coming up, Microsoft Essentials, and it starts April 26th this month, and it's going to happen every weekend. So you see that it's very easy for you to fit that in your schedule, right? So we're going to have that for 6 weekends, and it's going to be an insightful class. You would see that at the end of this class, you be wanting more, right? So I'm going to jump a link in the chat box. Say you want to understand what this course entails, you can book a consultation session with me and we can have that conversation, or you can go to our social media platforms or the website, and then you can just check more about the course and put in that call with me and be able to help you understand, your needs. So it's time for us to have our class, and I'm going to be introducing Tolu Lokwe to us. Yeah. I'm going to be introducing Tolu Lokwe to us now. Hi, Tolu. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Glory. Yes, you are.
Thank you. So we have Tolu on board, and I want us to welcome Tolu. Tolu took, if you were available for the last, if you were around for the last webinar we held on Excel, Tolu was the one that took it, and it was an amazing session. Like a lot of insights, a lot of things that we learned, and I know that today is not going to be any less. It's going to be an amazing time with Tolu. So Tolu Lokwe is a data and business intelligence analyst with over 5 years of experience spanning the health, supply chain, and consulting industries. She is a Microsoft certified trainer and a Microsoft certified data analyst with a strong track record of leveraging analytics and automation to optimize operational processes and drive efficiency. Tolu is highly skilled in Excel, Power BI, and SQL, using these tools to extract insights and to create impactful dashboards that support data-driven decision-making. Beyond her technical expertise, she's a passionate educator and mentor dedicated to empowering others and giving back to the data community. So we can see that we're in for a ride today, right? So please let's welcome to Lokolo Okeri as she takes us in our session for today. You can use the emoji that has the clap button, and then we just welcome Tolu. And the more we welcome her, we know that she will give us, an amazing time in class. So please let's welcome Tolu as she takes us in our class today. Welcome, Tolu. It's so nice to have you on the call. Welcome, Tolu. Please confirm you can hear me, Tolu.
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you so much, Glory, for the introduction.
Yes, you're welcome.
Okay. Thank you, everyone, and welcome once again to this session. We're going to be exploring lookup functions in Excel, and I'm going to be taking us on a step-by-step guide. So I'm sure if you are familiar with Excel, or even if you are not so familiar with Excel, but you've heard people use Excel, you hear people saying things like, do you know how to use VLOOKUP? Do you know how to use XLOOKUP and the rest? So these are the lookup functions that we have in Excel. I'm going to break it down for us today, and we're going to see why we even need them in the first place and how to best utilize them. So the major lookup functions we have in Excel are VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, index and match, and XLOOKUP. So these are the most common and useful lookup functions that we utilize in Excel. So Excel lookup functions are very powerful, and they help us to quickly find and retrieve data within a spreadsheet. So why do we even need them in the first place? Usually, within organizations, you have your data stored or captured in one big table. So that data will have different columns that collect different important data. However, you may find yourself maybe you're just a supervisor, maybe in the customer service space, and then you need more information about what your or what the people you're supervising, how they are performing, for example, how many calls they made per day, things in that line. So what you usually have will be their names or their staff ID, but you need more information about that in that large table that contains all employee information, for example. So what you need to do then would be you have to look up. Now, it's up to you to know which lookup will work best for you, whether to use VLOOKUP, HLOOKUP, index and match, and XLOOKUP. So enough of my stories. We're going to go one after the other into what these lookup functions do. The most popular one amongst all of them is VLOOKUP, and this is the oldest of all also. So we use VLOOKUP VLOOKUP is very popular and is the oldest, and it has always been. So no matter the version of Excel you are using, you most likely have VLOOKUP, and it stands for what? Vertical lookup. And it allows you to search for a value in a range of cells and return the corresponding value from another range of cells. So enough of all this talking, let's bring this into practice. So I'll quickly go into Excel, and then I'll show us what's happening. So we have a sheet here, and then we have employee name, we have their department, and then we have their salary. So imagine these employees, right? They are in a particular branch. So this is the entire employee within the organization, and these are the employees in Lagos, for example. So you want to know how much they earn, how much their salary is from this list of. So this is our big table, and then this is the small table that you want to populate, the smaller table you want to populate based on the information you have. So looking at the VLOOKUP formula or function, it has 4 arguments: lookup value, table array, call index num, and range lookup. One secret to understanding and utilizing Excel in the best way you can is to understand what the arguments of a formula mean. It really helps you. So I don't mean cram it, I don't mean memorize it, but understand what they mean. It will help you understand what the formula itself does. We understand that we use VLOOKUP to look up more information about what we have, but how does VLOOKUP work? It works with these 4 arguments. The first argument here is lookup value. So I like to explain to people that lookup value is what you have, right, that you want more information about. And in our case, what we have is the names of the staff name, and then what we need more information about is the salary. So the next argument is table array. So table array here just means the entire range or the table where your lookup value is located. So lookup value is what you have, right? Table array is saying, okay, where am I going to search? So I'm going to go and search in this table. The next argument says column index number. Now, column index number refers to what you want to return. So after searching the table, searching for that name, you found the name, you need to find a column index number, meaning the return value. In our case, we want to return the salary. So what column position does salary reside, and how it is counted is, so for example, if I highlight this entire table as my table array, the way VLOOKUP works, because it looks from left to right, this first column is column 1, this is column 2, and then this is column 3. So it is, the column index number would be 3. So you have to type in number 3. And the last argument is type of match. So this one is either range lookup, which means do you want an exact match or a true or false, meaning do you want an exact match or an approximate match? You always choose an approximate match. Sorry, you always choose an exact match. So by choosing an exact match, VLOOKUP is going to give you what it's the exact result you need. So let's bring that into action. Remember in Excel, before you start the formula, it starts with an equal to, and then let me quickly zoom in a bit. Okay, so it starts with an equal to. Now, then you type in VLOOKUP, right? So lookup value here means what? What we have that we need more information about. So is Mary Smith, right? The table array, right, would be this entire table. now is a table that I want more information about, right? And where my lookup value resides. So I know that my lookup value is in this column, but I also need to highlight where my return value is. And I see that my return value is in column E, which is salary. So I need to highlight the entire table. So after highlighting the entire table, just because of the sake of cell referencing, I'll need to lock the entire range. Right, so I'm locking both the column and the row. Then the next thing is column index number. So now remember I said column index number is the value you want to return, and you need to know what position it is in the table array you highlighted earlier. So if this is column 1, this is column 2, because I want to return salary. Salary is on column 3. I'll have to type in number 3. Then comma. The last thing is the type of match. So generally in Excel, anytime you see in a formula that one of the arguments is in square brackets, it means it's an optional argument. That means the formula will still work without putting anything there. However, in this case, if you do not choose true, or some people use false, if you don't choose false, so some people type 0, it's going to give you an approximate match, and you don't want that, because if you type in true or 1, it will give you something close to the answer but not exactly the answer, and that's not what we want. So once I do it and I click on enter, I get 1,200. So I see Mary Smith and I have 1,200. Now it looks nice, but however, there's a mix-up somewhere. There's something different. And that's taking VLOOKUP to another level. What happens with VLOOKUP is that it only returns the first match. So it has gone through this column, so it goes row by row to search through, and it has seen Mary Smith, right? And Mary Smith, it brought the return value, which is 120. However, we're looking for Mary Smith marketing. So I see that many people bear that name. There's Mary Smith sales, Mary Smith marketing. So I'm supposed to return a 399,960 pounds. So this is what I need to return. However, it's giving me the first one. So that's one issue that VLOOKUP has. So it gives you the first match. So in order to solve this kind of problems, because we have duplicates in our lookup value, what we need to do is to create something like a helper column. So I'm going to create a new column to the left where I'm going to join these two names. So it's going to become like a helper column. What I'm going to do is just equals this. I'll use the ampersand and this and hit enter. And then I'll drag it down. So now we see that we have Mary Smith sales, John Cena retention, so I'll still have to apply. So I'm going to use this column right now as my it's going to be part of the table. That's what I mean. So this is going to be part of the table that will return our salary. So let's write the formula again. So what we're going to do now is equals VLOOKUP. Now the lookup value would be this and this. So I'm still going to do the concatenation here. So Mary Smith and marketing, right, would be my lookup value, comma. Then my table array will be the entire table, right? Sorry. Then my column index number now would be 1, 2, 3, 4. And then my type of match would be an exact match. So once I do this and I close my bracket and I hit enter, I get 39996. So that's what I know that Mary Smith in marketing department made. So with this, I can just drag this formula down and it will be absolutely correct. So when you have duplicates in your normal VLOOKUP, this is one way you can handle it. So we're going to move on to the next sheet. We're going to explore some of the limitations of VLOOKUP. As I said, it's a very powerful tool that helps you, and you can also we're also going to explore some of the way you can optimize VLOOKUP in such a way that it can even do more than what it is originally meant for. So we're going to make VLOOKUP here more dynamic. So using this example here, I want to populate the customer ID that we have here. So other IDs are first column, customer ID is second column. So I want to populate all through these columns, right? So, and I just want to write my formula once. The limitation you have with VLOOKUP is that once you write your formula and you try to drag to the right, it doesn't work as it should. You know, if it was in normal Excel function, as you drag, it will keep increasing in sequence, but that column index number would not always increase in sequence. So there's a hack around it, and that's what I want to show us today. So our lookup value is this. That's what we have here. The table array is this entire table. This table is it's larger than the other one. And then the column index number now for customer ID is column 2, right? Now, because I want to make it dynamic, I want to populate the 3 columns. I want to turn VLOOKUP to not to return just one value, but an array. I'm going to put in curly brackets the column index numbers. I'm going to list them all out. So I know customer ID is in column 2. So I'm going to type 2, then comma. Customer name, which is the next one I want to see. I'm going to type 3. Payment type, excuse me, which is 4 here. And then sales, which is payment type is 1, 2, 3, 4. Payment type is 5 and sales is 4. So I'll close the curly brackets. So that serves as my column index number. And lastly, I'm going to choose false, which is the exact match. So I'll do this, close my brackets and hit enter. And instantly you've created like an array. It's not just once. And if you even cross-check, you see that it's absolutely correct. So let's just check quickly. Brenda Jordan. Let me use one of the customer IDs, 56757. 6757. So that's Mary Freeman, right? Yes, so you see that that's Mary Freeman. Okay, that's one way of making it dynamic. Just in curly brackets, you can spell out all the column index number of all the columns you want to fill at once, and then you can do that quickly. So another interesting lookup function is index match. So with index match, it helps you take care of the limitations of VLOOKUP, right? So with index match, it is more about looking both left to right, top to bottom, however you want it to look. It doesn't, you must not, because for VLOOKUP, you must structure your table in a certain way. Your table must not, your lookup value must be on the left side of your return value. So for example, let's just quickly see the limitation of VLOOKUP. So imagine we have this table that we want to populate. So you see customer ID is on the right side, right? So other ID is first column, customer ID is column 2. Now we want to look up other ID. So we want to look to the left. We're looking from right to left this time around. So VLOOKUP cannot do this. So even if you try to type VLOOKUP, this is your lookup value, comma, table array. So let me just quickly highlight the entire table. And then the column index number for order ID now. So order ID should be in column 1, right? Then the kind of match you want, which is an exact match, to this, it will always give you an any. And it's just because it cannot look to the left. You can't look to the left. So sometimes what people do is that when they have things like this, they'll rearrange their table, and it can even cause problems later on, because when you're working with large data sets, it's not wise to do that. So because of this limitation, it will be advisable to master index match, because index matches help with this limitation and to search anyhow you prefer. So let's see that in action here. Index match is really, really interesting because there are two independent functions that work hand in hand to create a powerful lookup function. So how does it work? You have the match function on its own, and then you have the index function on its own. I always like to explain what the independent functions do on their own. So for example, index is what returns your lookup value, right? So it has 3 arguments: array, row number, and column number, right? Array is like your table array, just like in VLOOKUP, right? So the table you wanted to search, the table that contains both the lookup value and the return value, or the columns that contain both lookup value and return value. Then row number, right, and column number is usually what match takes care of. So you have to nest this match function within the index function. So instead of row number, type in number 3 or whatever you type in VLOOKUP, you have to impute this match, because match helps you to set dynamically. You're not limited to typing 3 or typing a number there. It will help you search dynamically. So I'm going to show us how this is done. We'll start with the match function, and then we'll go on from there. Now, so let me start with match, right? So that we understand what match does. It has 3 arguments: lookup value, lookup array, and match type. So what is our lookup value? Remember, same with VLOOKUP, the value we have that we need more information about. So this is the customer ID that we have currently. Then the lookup array is, so this customer ID we have, what column or row? Now it doesn't say table array, it says lookup array. So what column or row? So it's not the entire table, but a column or a row. Does this value reside? Which column or row does it reside in? So I know that this customer ID resides in this column. So I highlight the entire column, I'll lock it, what type of match do I want to search for? I want to find an exact match. So I choose 0 and I close my bracket and I hit enter. So once I do that, I have 22. You wonder, what does 22 mean? 22 just means that this value 11213 is the 22nd position. So sit here. So if I highlight up to this point, so the count is 22. So this is the 22nd position. That's what match has helped you to find. It's found that this value is located on the 22nd position in this array, right? You can also, now that we know that, we will now impute this match inside our index function. Now for index, you will type in index, right? Now the array here means the table array. Remember I said index gives you the return value. So you need a table that has both the lookup function, both the lookup value and the return value. So we know that lookup value and return value resides here, right? So I'll just highlight this entire table and then unlock it, then the row number, you know that this value, this row number is what, 22. So I can type in 22 here, and that's fine. It's going to work, but it's not going to be wise. But I just want to show us how it works first before we do it the right way. So the next thing is column number. So I want to return order ID, right? So I know that order ID is in column 1 here. So I just type in 1 and then I close my bracket and I hit enter, and it gives me the exact order ID. That's what 44253. So you can just quickly check 44253. This is it over here. So that's correct. Now you see that I had to put in numbers, right? And it's because I was able to find the match and I was able to find the order ID by just looking at the table and checking. But it's not wise to just put in this number. In order to make it more dynamic, this is where the match function now comes in. So you type in match, and remember my lookup value is this. My lookup array is this entire column that I will lock, and then my type of match is an exact match, right? Then I can also use match to look up the second, like to look up my column number, and I can choose to just type in one because I know that I don't have so many columns, so I just type in one. So once I do this and I hit enter, I'll get the exact value that we got before. So it's pretty easy and straightforward as well. So I hope that's clear. We'll see more examples as we move on anyways. So I know index and match can be like a learning curve for so many of us. It takes a lot of practice, but with time, you would surely get it. And once you get it, you will not even want to look back. Now, the next ones we're going to explore would be VLOOKUP versus XLOOKUP. Now, I like to call XLOOKUP a soft girl because XLOOKUP came after the issues, not issues anyway, so the complexities that index and match had. So Microsoft decided to bring in a more easier way of looking up by introducing XLOOKUP. However, XLOOKUP is not available for every user, every version of Excel. I think from 2019 upwards, you have XLOOKUP. But anything older than that, you will not have XLOOKUP. Office 365 users enjoy XLOOKUP as well. And if you use Excel Online, you also have XLOOKUP. So in case you are not in that position yet, you would still have to learn how to use it and also VLOOKUP properly. So XLOOKUP is way easier and it helps you search either ways, left, right, top, bottom, however you'd like to search. And it reduces the complexities that the other lookup function has. So I'm going to use this example. Although I've even shown us the limitations, I'm going to use this example to reinforce the limitations that VLOOKUP has and also show us how XLOOKUP helps to solve this problem. So we already see that our lookup value, which is sales channel, is on the right of our return value. So VLOOKUP would not work, no matter how correct your VLOOKUP is. So this is not you, it's not your problem, but the problem of the formula itself. It cannot look from right to left. It can only look from left to right. Your lookup value must always be on the left. So if you want to force this one to work, what you most likely do is to copy this column and then maybe put it on the right side. So these lookup values on sales channel must be on the left side of your return value. That's how VLOOKUP works. So the table array here is this entire table. So this is the entire table. Then the column index number, because I want to return ownership, that's column 1. And the type of lookup is exact. That's false or 0 and hit enter. Of course, it's going to give us an NA because VLOOKUP cannot look that way. But with the good XLOOKUP that we have now, XLOOKUP can look anyway. So the lookup value here, which is sales channel, comma, then the lookup array is now, it doesn't say table array, it says lookup array. just like match. So it means the column that you are searching for, not the entire table, right? Then the return array, right? I made a mistake. Sorry. The lookup array is the sales channel. Then can look that. The return array is also this column. You will lock that. Then it also has some other arguments that are not mandatory that you type. So if not found, if you want to put something like you just put NA or something. So if it's not found, you should just put an NA. So let's put something like NA, right? And then the kind of match mode, we want an exact match, so to always be 0, and then you can leave the last one. It's not so compulsory. So I have outsourced, and I can drag my formula down to populate. Now imagine somebody, maybe I mistakenly I make an error in the spelling, right? You see, now it gives me the NA that I was speaking of. So this is the value if not found that it will return. That's how dynamic the XLOOKUP function is. Very sweet, very interesting. Okay. Now let's see more index and match in action, right? So we have this table that is structured in this way. You agree with me that many people, although they structure their data in this way, this cross-tabulated way, meaning you have to look 2 ways to see, to match what you are searching for. So for example, I see this is $106. So what makes up $106? Belgium in March 2023. So I'm looking both ways, column wise and row wise. Many people like to structure their data in this way, although it's not always the best, but maybe for the readability and just choice, people do this. And when you're faced with things like this and you don't have the opportunity to unpivot their data for them, you just have to work with it. So in this case, this is what we have to work with. Now we want to find the sales of these countries using index match, right? Now we're going to utilize index and match in its full capacity here. We have row items, we also have column items. And let's see how everything is going to come together. So I type in index, right? Now my array now would be the entire table. So I can choose to even highlight the entire table, right? Then make sure I lock it, right? If you use named ranges, it will even be better to make your formulas easier to read than just using absolute sign referencing, but that's by the way. Then row number is where we're going to impute our match function. Now we're looking for what's the lookup value that is going row wise. That's the country, right? So lookup value is Belgium, right? And the lookup array, so Belgium is found in this, so you can also choose to start from top in this column, comma, and we need an exact match. So I type in 0, I close my bracket, comma, column number here. Now, what is going column wise? Those are the dates, right? So I'm going to type in another match, and our lookup value will be February 23. Lookup array is found in this first row, and you have to also make sure you lock that. And then what kind of match are you doing? You're doing an exact match. So you close this and close the bracket second time, and instantly you get your value. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So it might be a long one, but what's happening here is just, I'll try to zoom in. We're using 2 matches. The first match is to find the row number dynamically, and the second match is to find the column number dynamically. So with that, we're able to find how much they all made. Okay, it looks like it looks like I mixed up something, and I've seen where I mixed things up. So I did not lock this lookup array. So always double check. Okay. So once I do this, those values that are highlighted, it's a guide to show you if you're right. So 348, 1292, 34. So exactly. That's absolutely correct. Yeah, so I would like to hear our questions, our challenges at work with lookup functions. I hope we're able to grasp one or two things during this session. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much, Tolu. So it has just been brought to my attention that the chat box is not working. So I've unmuted the participants, the attendees rather. So if you would want to talk, you can just unmute and then ask your question. So please, I have done that already. So does anybody have any question from the presentation that Tolu made? Does anybody have a question? I already unmuted everybody, so you can actually talk and ask your question. So do we have any question? If you don't have any question, I have a question though. Right? Because it was an insightful session, and I really want to appreciate Tolu for giving us an insightful session. You made lookup look very easy, and you made them look made them look like something that you can easily grasp, even just in how many minutes. And just I want to say a big thank you for this amazing session. So Precious Osage, Adam Abdul Salam, do you have any questions? Do you have any questions or anything you want to say? Any questions? I already unmuted you for you to talk. All right. So while we're waiting for those that want to ask a question, I want you to take this poll. How would you rate this webinar? So you already had this webinar, you had an amazing time. How would you rate the webinar? Please do well to vote, and let's see how much you enjoyed yourself on the call. Right. So I'm still waiting for questions. Do we have any questions? I'm still waiting for questions. Do we have any questions? So you're muted, so you can actually speak if you want to speak. Do we have any question? Any question? Adam Abdisalam, any question? Adetono, any question? Precious Osage. All right, so the poll is still on. Let's know how you rate this webinar, if you enjoyed yourself, and if you have any more questions. So thank you so much to Lokwe once again for an amazing webinar. Right, I am so sorry about the Q&A box. The chat box that's not working. We're doing all we can to fix it, but our next webinar is going to be 100% and working perfectly well. Thank you very much. So I already spoke about our upcoming Microsoft Excel course, and let me just speak about it one more time. Okay, somebody's raising their hands. Amazing. That's Precious Osagi. Please, you can speak. I already unmuted you. You can speak, please. You're muted. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Glory. And thank you, Tolu. Such an insightful and educative presentation. Though I was just following with on my phone, and at some point I was missing some of the functions. Probably she's speaking on a particular sheet, so there were delays, maybe network glitch and all of that. But I just want some clarification. I know, as the name implies, lookup, it means search. But these lookups, does it also work for specific formula inputs? like you want to carry out a particular estimation or exercise within a sheet. You want to impute specific formulas. Will it also work for it, or you have to have something that is already existing, like a table, a data that is already existing? Then you just want to search and then paste or copy on another part of the within the sheet. Is that when it works, or you can still impute specific formulas to maybe calculate a particular figure?
Okay. Thank you so much, Precious, for your question. If I'm hearing or understanding you clearly, I think you are speaking to two things. So first, what I can hear is that you say, does VLOOKUP work across different sheets? So imagine I have my big table in sheet 1, and then I'm creating a smaller table that I need more information about in sheet 2. Can I still use VLOOKUP? Absolutely yes. So it can work across sheets, even across workbooks, as far as the workbooks are both open at that point in time. Then for the other part about calculation, I'm not still very clear. Could you please give me an example, or that would really help? Thank you, Precious.
Oh, okay. On the aspect of the calculation, I just want to know, peradventure, I want to calculate a particular aspect within the exercise I'm putting up. Let's just say, okay, I want for ease of calculation, I want to check the tan of 30 degrees multiplied by another tan squared 30 degrees. Now, I need to program a formula within that cell, right?
Yes.
I need to program a formula. So now, with VLOOKUP, will I be able to do it within a specific cell, or I have to have had this formula programmed for each of the cells that I'm working with? Then all VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP would do for me is to search a particular figure.
Okay, so what you're asking for, right, is possible, but it all depends on your approach to handling things. So what I mean is, you can use VLOOKUP inside another formula also. So for example, if you are calculating something, you want it to, yes, you can use VLOOKUP inside another formula. Maybe you're trying to do some percentages or whatever. You can also impute VLOOKUP inside. But my advice would be that in order for you to reduce any form of frustrations, our advice, you search first. And after searching, you now perform your calculation. It gives you easier or cleaner work to do, although it might take multiple steps. But once you are very comfortable using Excel, you know how to write 15 lines of codes and nest about 20 formulas together in one, then you can go ahead nesting VLOOKUP in other formulas. But for ease of use, our advice, you search first and then do your calculation afterwards. I hope that's clear.
All right, thank you very much.
You're
That
welcome.
answers my question.
Thank you.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Precious, for your question. Thank you so much, Tolu, for the answer. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And like I said, this is just the tester session, right? There's still more to learn, more to know, more to understand. And, we just want to ensure that you're upskilling, and then you are taking charge of every opportunity that can be offered, right? So we're having our Excel Essential course, and it's starting on the 26th of April this month. And the amazing thing is Tolu is going to be our facilitator. So if you enjoyed her today, look forward to an amazing 6 weekends with her, right? So I've put in the course registration link, the consultation link, and the website link. We're going to be sending out emails with all of these details. I'm so sorry about the chat box, but I'm going to be sending out emails with all of these details. So you can just at one click have a chat with me so that I can understand what you need in your current professional level, or generally what you just want to learn with Excel. We can have that conversation, and you can also check our website and our course registration. We also have some content, some things that you can help your Excel journey on our YouTube page and our Instagram page. Please do well to go there and ensure that you're upskilling and you're doing all that needs to be done to remain relevant in this tech age. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for joining us today. I look forward to seeing us in our other webinars, right? Kindly enjoy the rest of your day. Oh, we have one more hand up. So sorry. Okay, Precious, do you still have another question, please? Hi, Precious. If you can hear me, do you still have another question? Your hand is still up. All right, you're about to speak. Okay. Sorry, Precious has a question. Let's take her question. This might be network. Okay. Precious, you can speak. I think she's planning her to mute network. Okay. Hi, Precious. If you can hear me, you can just send a thumbs up button. If your question, okay, you're muted. Hi, Precious. You're muted.
Yes. Yeah. Hi, Glory. Yes,
Yeah.
thank you again. Yes, on these Microsoft, Excel Essentials,
Yes.
I see the fees, the cost fee. Is it
All right.
possible to pay instrumentally?
Okay. So instrumental payments are they're actually accepted, right? But I would send the details of the instrumental payment to you. Kindly, I'm going to send an email to you. I already have your email address, so I'm going to send an email to continue this conversation. I hope that's fine with you, Precious.
Yes, that's fine.
All right. So look for me in your email box. I'll be sending an email to you. Thank you so much.
Don't
All right.
pause me. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Kindly enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night. Bye. Thank you, Tolu. Good night.